Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is Mr. C. Today, we're going to be talking about and going over the strategies of multiplying and dividing by multiples of 10. So, we're going to be looking at, let's start with multiplication. We have times 10, times 100, and times 1,000. Now, when we're multiplying these, we don't need to write it vertically with the algorithm. There's a much quicker way to do this. Let me show you. We can use what we know about place value to solve these types of problems. So I'm going to draw a place value chart here. So I'll make it kind of big. 100,000s, 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. Okay. So let's say we have a problem where we're multiplying by 10. For example, 32 times 10. Now, many students want to do this. We don't need to do that. In fourth grade, we haven't yet gone over that skill yet. So we have another strategy we use to do that. We can use this place value chart here. So I'm going to put 32 on our chart. In that place value, 3 tens, 2 ones. Now, the students already know that when we multiply times 10, we are kind of like shifting or jumping the number over by one place. Each jump of a place is times 10. So they show that by drawing some arrows. Let me change this color. So, for example, if we're multiplying 32 times 10, this is actually going to this place because that's times 10. This is actually going to that place, which is times 10. So we had 3 tens, it shifts to the hundreds place. We had 2 ones, it shifts to the tens place. But right now we have nothing in the ones place because the 2 moved. So we add a 0, a placeholder. So 32 times 10 is going to be 320. Let's look at another one. Let's use a bigger number. How about 1,230 times 10? So we write the original number on the chart, 1,230. Now, times 10, again, is one jump, one shift over to the left. So, like that, like that, like that, and like that. All of these are times 10. I'm not going to write the rest, just so you know. So we shift the 1 there, the 2, the 3, and the 0. Now notice we have nothing in that ones place, so we do need a placeholder. We're going to put a 0 there. Let's add in our commas. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1,230 times 10 is 12,300. Now, let's look at times 100. All right. So the students know that one jump to the left is times 10. Well, what happens when I do another jump to the left? Well, if that's times 10, and this one would be times 10, if I multiply 10 times 10, that's 100. So doing two jumps to that left is going to be times 100 because each jump is times 10, and 10 times 10 is 100. So let me show you one. Let's say we had 36,125 times 100. Let me put the original number on the chart. 36,125. There's my comma. All right. So each jump to the left is times 10. Two jumps to the left is times 100. So let's show it. Now, I'm looking at my chart and it's not big enough. I need to go ahead and add my next place, which is the millions place. So here we go. 1, 2. The 3 is going to be there. 1, 2. The 6 will be there. Let me write them in. 1, 2. The 1 will be there. 1, 2. The 2 will be there. And 1, 2. The 5 will be there. So each digit shifted to the left 2 places. That would be times 100. Now notice we have nothing now in the tens or the ones place. We need our placeholders. So let's put them in. 0 and 0. Let's add our commas. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. 36,125 times 100 is 3,612,500. There we go. Let's look at a times 1,000. So this time, remember, one jump is times 10. Two jumps is times 100. Well, each time we jump is times 10. So 10 times 10 times 10, or 100 times 10 more is 1,000. So anything times 1,000 is going to cause you to jump 3 places to the left on this place value chart. Let's look at one. All right. Let's say we have 57 times 1,000. So we put in our 57, and to go to 1,000, we jump to the left 3 times, 3 shifts. 1, 2, 3. 5 there. 1, 2, 3. 7 there. And we don't have anything now in the hundreds, the tens, or the ones place. So we're going to put our placeholders. 0, 0, 0. This would be 57,000. And so that's how that works. We've taught the students how to do this. This is one of the ways that they can do this without doing the algorithm, because we haven't actually gone over 2-digit by 2-digit or more in the algorithm yet. But they know how to do this, and this works. Now, let's look at a little bit of another way to do this. Because of the students' knowledge of place value and this chart, I've showed them another way to kind of do the same thing, but without the chart. Now, as we've seen, whenever we multiply, our number always gets greater. It gets bigger. So what we can do is do this without the chart. For example, let's say we had 59 times 100. As long as I know that each shift or jump is times 10, well, I know 2 jumps, 10 times 10 is 100. So 100 would be 2 jumps or 2 shifts. So I can take the number 59, and first I'm going to write in my decimal. Now, the decimal is always next to the ones place, and the students have been told that. We've been working with that in class, even though we haven't fully gone over everything with decimals already. We have been practicing with it a little. So instead of drawing the whole chart here, we can take this decimal and shift it without the chart to get our answer. 100 times 100 is 2 jumps. Well, I'm sorry, times 100 is 2 jumps. So now notice it has to get greater. The number, if it gets smaller, I'm going the wrong way. So if I were to accidentally go that way, my new number would be 5.9 or 5 9/10, which is much smaller than 59. So, oops, I went the wrong way. So we're going to shift this time to the right. Times 10 is 1 jump. Times 100 is 10 times 10, which is 2 jumps. So we're going to shift 2 jumps to the right, like this. 1, 2. So the new decimal place is here. We're going to add in placeholder zeros. And let's drop it down, add our comma. There's our answer. 59 times 100 is 5,900. So that's just another way, a quicker way to do it without the chart. And we've been practicing both ways. And so students don't need to line these up in the algorithm vertically when they're multiplying by powers of 10 times 100, or times 1,000. These are 2 solid ways using understanding a place value to get the answer. So let's ourselves shift a little bit and let's do some division. So let's do a little bit of division, dividing by powers of 10. Let's say we had 37,200 divided by 10. So this is very much related to the other way that we did this with multiplication. We're just going the opposite way. So we're going to start by putting our original number on the chart. 37,200. Now, when we divide by 10, we're actually not going to the left. We're going to go to the right, because each time we shift over a place to the right, we say that we're dividing by 10, which is the same as multiplying by 1/10. All right, so we're going to take this number and divide it by 10. So this time we shift each number, each digit to the right. So the 3 is going to shift that way. It'll be there. The 7 will shift that way. It'll be there. The 2 will shift that way. It'll be there. And the 0 will shift this way. It'll be there. Now, we have another 0 right there. And you know what? Let me bring that back and I'll move it. There. Now, that other 0, it really doesn't matter. I could shift it, which would take us to, there's our decimal place. It would take us to the tens place, but if it's 0, it's still going to be 0, so it doesn't really matter. So there's our answer, 3,720. Now, just like we did this without the chart, we can do this one without the chart too. Let me show you an example. So let's say we had 900,200, and we're going to divide by 100 this time. So the amount of jumps works exactly the same. When we are either multiplying or dividing by 100, you're going to jump 2 times. Either multiplication, we're going to make the number greater, we're going to go to the left on the chart. Or if we're moving the decimal, we're moving the decimal to the right. Or if we're dividing, when we use the place value chart, it would be 2 jumps to the right. And if we're moving the decimal, we're making that number smaller, we'd below 2 jumps to the left. So let me write out the number and show you. And I'll show you both ways. So here's the 900,200 on the chart. And here it is without the chart. And there's your decimal. So dividing by 100, 2 jumps, because 10 times 10 is 100. So if I were to use the chart, I would say 1, 2, my 9 is there. 1, 2, my 0 is there. 1, 2, my other 0 is there. And 1, 2, my 2 is there. I don't have any zeros, or I have zeros and they don't really matter. So there would be my answer, 9,002. Now, if I was to use the other strategy without the chart, I have to remember that when I divide, my number is getting less. It's getting smaller. So if I'm moving the decimal to the right, it's getting bigger, getting larger or greater. But I have to move it to the left to make this number smaller. So I have to remember that divided by 100, 2 jumps. So I'm going to go to the left to make my number smaller. 1, 2. There's my 2 jumps. So the new decimal place would be right there. I bring it down. I have 9, 0, 0, 2. Put my comma. 9,002. I don't know why my 2 ended up a little bit out of whack, but I can't remember. So 9,002, either way. So those are 2 really solid strategies for either dividing or multiplying by 10, 100, or 1,000. We've been practicing this, and with the students' knowledge of place value and what they've learned, this is very solid. So if they're wondering about a question on homework or something like that, then they can use this strategy. We don't want them lining it up vertically with the algorithm like this. Not yet. We're not ready for that yet. So we're doing it this way. All right. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time.